Hey everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here. NBA playoffs happened tonight. Game 7 in Denver. The Denver Nuggets advance over the Los Angeles Clippers, 120 to 101. It wasn't even that close. They were up by as many as 30. This was a thrashing of the highest order. But I need to illustrate a point here. The, let's first get this out of the way. The Clippers really overachieved this season to be the 5 seed, to be in a position in a game 7 on the road to potentially advance, given, all the uncertainty. Paul George leaves. Ty Lue is an unbelievable coach. And to get them to that position is unbelievable. Kawhi Leonard playing maybe the best basketball he's played in LA probably since the injury he had in 2021. He was playing at that Toronto San Antonio peak level. Like it would have been nice to see maybe if they could have made a run in this playoffs, because I think even Denver, I think, can give Oklahoma City a run. They split the season series. But what I need to talk about here is going to be what I think a lot of people are going to be talking about, and that is James Harden, because he played really well in that game 6 win over, I think, on Friday night or on Thursday night. And so we get to the conversation that where it always is in a big time game. Will James Harden show up? Well, the answer to that question is no. Um, First game 7 in 2 years, goes for 7 points. He had 13 assists, but 35 minutes. Like, dude, you're one of the great players of this generation, like widely considered like one of the most elite scorers. And like really, he's a former MVP, but considering the fact that this guy has only been to one NBA Finals in his career, that was with the Thunder back in 2012. He has consistently come up short in game 7s. And yes, I understand this is Kawhi Leonard's team, but he's supposed to be the second or third best player on this team, and you give your team 7 points. He's in game 7s since 2011, since his first game 7 with the Thunder. He's a below 20 point per game scorer. That's not acceptable for a guy who we think should get to the Hall of Fame. Like, this guy has notoriously come up short. The last time he was in a conference final was 7 years ago. That's the last time he was in a conference final, when he was with the Rockets. And you guys remember that game where I think they missed 25 3-pointers in a row. He had 32 points in that game, but now he's 3-5 in career game 7s. His best game 7s came back when he was with the Rockets. 2015, 2018. The last time he won a game 7 was against the Thunder. That was in the bubble. The last time he won a game 7, there was nobody there. So, and I know, the game 7 against the Bucks, 22 points. And you could say, maybe they would have advanced if Kevin Durant's foot was on the line. Still, you need your best players in these kind of games to step up. And consistently, no matter what team he is on, he has consistently come up short in big time games. Again, like I said, his record now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's 3-4. I stand corrected. Not 3-5. 3-4 in career game 7s, and he's lost his last 3. And he hasn't scored in double figures in the last 2. This has consistently become a theme whenever you have a team with James Harden on it. And I understand he's getting up there in age, but if you watch this game against the Nuggets, he looked passive. He didn't look aggressive. He was coming up short in a bunch of shots. Kawhi Leonard was really the only Clipper that showed up in this game. And that's why this thing got away from him in the third quarter. I think it was a 9-10 point game at half. And then the Nuggets just came out and just absolutely obliterated them to start the half. And it was over. It was a 25-point lead before you knew it. And Ty Lue had to call off the Dogs, and the Clippers just basically quit. And that's because their best players didn't show up. Norman Powell, he's a champion. He wasn't very good on the road. Kawhi Leonard, you expect that. But then it comes down to what? If Ivica Zubac isn't your third best player or your second best player, what are we? James Harden has got to be better in these spots. And until he comes up and gets to a conference final. This is the same thing that at least with Jalen Brunson. And I know I had a huge issue, and Knicks fans are going to probably hate me. At least with Jalen Brunson, that guy is consistently showing up in big time games and delivering for his team. James Harden, pretty much since that 32-point game that he had in that game 7 over on Memorial Day against the Warriors in 2018. That's 7 years ago. He had a near triple double with 22 points and a 53-minute performance overtime loss, but he's lost his last 3 game 7s. This has not nearly been the player that we expect him to be. And again, when you are in the playoffs, your best players have to show up. They have to show up. Otherwise, you're not going to win shit. And Kawhi Leonard showed up. The rest of the team was just there. It's great. Hey, James Harden had a really nice game in a big time spot in game 6, but game 7 is where, and with the season on the line on the road, these are where legacies are made. And consistently in these big time moments, James Harden does not show up. He failed again. I don't know if he'll ever win a championship as far as I'm concerned, because I don't know if they were going to win a championship this year because there's better teams than the Clippers. But he had some great teams in Houston. He had a great team in Oklahoma City. Granted, he was the 3rd best player there. He went to Philadelphia. They had a game 7. They had a game 6 as well at home that they didn't win. We're leaving that out of the discussion. But this guy just can't be relied upon. And it's another failure. And like I said, it's not totally his fault. But again, he is one of the best players on the team. He is one of the most highly paid players on the team. And when Kawhi Leonard, who was expected to show up, shows up and nobody else helps him out, you're going to be under a microscope. And the first person that I'm always going to look at in these situations is a guy who's won an MVP, won scoring titles, done just about everything you could possibly do in this league, except he hasn't won a conference championship in 13 years. And that was when he was the 3rd guy on a team with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. He can't do it anymore. He can't. So, I get it. He still is a great distributor of the basketball. He can still score, but when it comes down to it, the legends of this game, are judged by what they do, specifically in game 7s. Everybody wants to rail on LeBron for what he's done previously in his career. LeBron is a legend in game 7s. He is a legend in game 7. I think he's like a career 30 plus per game score. He shows up in game 7s. Not saying that James Harden is LeBron, but at one point we were comparing James Harden to LeBron in MVP discussions. He's not that anymore, but this has always been a topic of discussion, and it comes to the forefront again because here we are with a talented team like the Clippers who did overachieve, but what are we talking about? Their best players did not show up when it mattered, and that's why they're going home. That's why the Nuggets are moving on. For God's sake, Nikola Jokic had 14 points in this game, and the Nuggets won by 19 going away. It was the bench that made this even remotely interesting. I don't even think Harden played a minute in the 4th quarter. He might have played a couple, but they gave up. And his body language, you could tell he gave up. So that's my takeaway from this game. Nuggets Thunder is going to be a fascinating second round. Like all these second round series are actually quite interesting. Even that Timberwolves, we're still waiting to see if it's going to be the Rockets or the Warriors. I think either way, that is going to be a very interesting second round matchup with the Timberwolves. So like all these matchups are really interesting. Like you got Pacers, Cavs, Knicks, Celtics. Unless you just hate both those teams and hate both those fan bases. High Lane, I know that you don't like them and you're not going to watch the series. All good. And then obviously you got Nuggets and Thunder, which I think is going to be a really interesting series because the Nuggets, I mean, they got Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray who won a championship 2 years ago. And they're going to want some redemption for being knocked out in the second round by Minnesota last year. So that'll be interesting. Anyway, thanks so much for watching here. More NBA playoff coverage, a lot of stuff coming here. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.